Hi, this is Chris Lopez with Alamosa Citizen. This is Adams State Football with Coach Levi Gallas, presented by RG Bank. We're at the San Luis Valley Brewing Company. Coach, you're about 24 hours from getting on the bus and starting your head football coaching career.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, it's kind of a surreal feeling, but you can sense the team right now is motivated. The sense of urgency, the focus, the attention to details really starting to come out, and these last couple practices have kind of been that way and heading in the right direction.
Introduce the person to your right, and who do we have behind us?
Yeah, so first off to my right is Seth Moss. He's a linebacker, senior. Comes from the Valley, Buena Vista, up north.
Nice.
And then off to my left, we got Billy here today.
Billy, it's good to see Billy, the Adams State mascot. Coach, you're headed to Silver City tomorrow, Friday. You open the season on Saturday against Western New Mexico. A lot of firsts for you in your career, but this is the first head coaching assignment for you. How does that feel?
Anytime that you try to get 60, 70, 80 mountain people all coordinated in one, there's a lot of things that have to go the right way. And so, we've been presented with those things in the last couple weeks, making sure buses are set up, hotels are set up, we've got all the travel bags, we got enough towels, all the things you don't think of. We're probably going to get on the bus and there's going to be something we forget. So
there's a right way and a wrong way to travel in college athletics.
Oh, 100%. And I think the way that we are going to do it is just trying to shorten the day.
Gotcha.
Try to make it a relaxing experience for our players. Again, we're going to sleep here tonight. We'll jump on the bus tomorrow morning. It'll be a little bit of a travel for us. I think it's going to end up being about 7 hours, but we'll take a break down there as we get lunch on our way.
Albuquerque. Seth, is there a little pressure? I don't want to put too much pressure on the team, but is there a little bit more pressure knowing you're playing for a first-year head coach? You want to get that first win for him.
I want to say there's pressure. In fact, there's pride in it.
Yeah.
Because Coach Gallas has came in. He's done great things for us as a culture, as a community, and we just want to put it out there on the line for him, especially for the first game, and show everybody that there's a new chapter of Adams State football, and it starts on Saturday.
Yeah, Coach, let's talk a little bit about Western New Mexico and who you're going to face in your season opener. Mustangs, 2-9 last year. I think they were winless in their conference, and so they also have that motivation to start the season right, just like the Grizzlies do.
Yep.
What's the tone you try to set for your season opener, especially on the road?
I think in this first one, there's a lot of new happening. Like you said, first game, first road trip, first new era, however you want to mention it. And I think in those type of situations, you can't get too caught up in who you're playing. Because there's a lot of new going on down there. Coach Hickman's done a great job of re-engaging that community, re-engaging that culture, and getting it to where it has his stamp of approval. And I think, in those type of situations, you can sit there and look at records, but when you've got 365 days to flip the script in the way college football is now, you can't just sit there and assume, it's going to be the same team from last year. You can't. They're going to have a new roster. They're going to have new starters. They're going to have new coaches. And so in those perspectives, you really got to focus on yourself, less on the opponent.
When I look at that matchup, Coach, they're an offensive team. They're returning 2 top receivers from a year ago.
Yeah.
They like to run the football, but he likes to spread it out. He's got 2 big guys coming back.
Yep.
You're a defensive specialist, the head coach, also defensive coordinator. That's a good matchup for you right out of the gate, taking on an offense. Yeah. How do you see that?
No, absolutely. On paper, they've got 2 really good wide receivers, but you got to think about their whole core. They've got about 5 or 6 guys returning in that just receiver room. And the guys that have experience, that have played under the lights, that know what to expect and how Coach Hickman reacts to certain situations. Even though he might not be the play caller, as the offensive line coach, he's got a pretty big stamp of approval in that realm. So, But then you look at their offensive line. They're bringing back 4 of their 5 that are returners that have played, that have experience as well. You stick a couple transfers into that room. Okay, it's experience. You got a running back, a couple running backs that have had some carries in their time. And so offensively, it's not a lot of new faces, but then, you know, the trigger puller, that guy's new, going to be a redshirt freshman, has had a couple snaps, but it's his time to shine. And so how they're going to mold those things around him, it is fun, though. You start thinking about all this stuff and, you know, what if? And as a head coach, but as a defensive coordinator, you can play that big what if game and then lose sight of, hey, let's worry about our techniques. Let's worry about our discipline.
Well, and then you also have in Western New Mexico and Adams State 2 programs that have been trending down. And now both programs want to change that narrative, right? You want to get off the season, both of you.
Right.
Because you want to prove to yourself that, no, we can play here. So you have 2 programs that need to take that next step. You're right there. How do you look at that, Coach?
No, and there's even so much more similarities because they're coming from a smaller community.
Yeah.
You know, they're a smaller institution. There's so much that's similar to our 2 programs right now, and that's what makes it a great matchup. That's what makes it a great a chance to open up week 1 for us. And, you know, I like Billy a lot. I like Coach Hickman a lot. He does a great job with his program. I've gone against him the last 2 years and kind of have seen the way he's been doing things, and he's doing it the right way. And so, you know, you look at it in many different views, but right now, you know, super motivated for this weekend.
Well, and as you said, this is an opponent that you are familiar with because you were in the same conference, West
Correct.
Texas A&M,
Yep.
Western New Mexico, and the Lone Star Conference,
Correct.
where you came from.
Correct.
So you actually know this team, beat them last year. What's the message for you for the Grizzlies in your season opener? Do you have a routine yourself? Do you have anything that you need to happen? What's that routine for you?
Yeah, there is. I turn into like an old school baseball player. Like I've got to have the right socks. I've got to have the right things in the right pockets.
Little superstitions.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
It's superstition,
Oh, yeah.
but it's that sense of just as a player, like Deion Sanders, you feel good, you play good, right? You have everything the way you want. You know you're more confident in going into those situations. Are there going to be adversity? Absolutely. Am I going to forget to bring my piece of gum? I might, you know, but it's that sequence of events that puts you back into that game mode.
And Seth, do you and do players have those same routines when you're traveling, and do you have to wear the same sock? Well, how do you travel?
Yeah, we travel in uniform, so we'll all get off the bus looking the same so everyone can know who we are. But I'm a lot like Coach. I'm a big superstition guy. I played baseball in high school and everything, so coming into game day, it's the same playlist that I've had since my freshman year of high school.
Yep.
Same underwear, same socks. Like, there's a lot of stuff.
Mom washes those.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wash them now.
You
I wash them now,
Good.
but a lot of this stuff I do the same. It's if I practice good in these cleats, I'm gonna wear those probably the rest of the year. If I feel good with these shoulder pads, I'm gonna wear those, and just stuff like that I've been doing for a really long time.
And your senior year, as you think about your senior year with the Grizzlies, what's your mindset as a senior, as someone who's been through this program? You're starting a new year, you have a new coach. What's your mindset?
My mindset heading into this year as my last senior year, I'd say is just help build the foundation of something that's going to be great. I truly believe in this staff, and especially in Coach Gallas, and I just want to do what I can to help especially our big freshman class, get those guys on the same page and get everybody going in the right direction. Like, I hope all these guys have better careers than I do, and just want to help out as much as I can to take this program to the next level.
New faces, a lot of new faces on this roster. How do you, as a senior, as a leader on this team, part of the leadership council, how do you help this team move forward, these young players, these freshmen?
I feel like we did a really good job in the summer, just with everyone showing up for workouts and everything. Like, I'd say a really big thing, a few guys on the leadership council did. Ben Hawley, he's on the leadership council. He's my roommate. Me and him had a really big pancake breakfast the first day all the new guys were there. So me and him cooked up probably 200 pancakes, and after weights, we texted the group chat, told everybody to come over, get some flapjacks, and it was a great time meeting the guys. I feel like that was a really big part right away. All the new guys kind of knew, hey, this is a new culture. These are the guys that stayed for a reason, and they want us to be part of what they're doing. So I feel like that was a really big part, and we just hang out a lot. Like, we all live close. We all hang out a lot, and we're a brotherhood family close. So
now I look forward to watching the Grizzlies get the season started. We're going to keep talking to Seth.
Yeah.
Take a quick break though, because we want to give some credit here to RG Bank. RG Bank is the proud presenting sponsor of Adams State football with Coach Levi Gallas. The Grizzlies put a game plan together to be successful on the football field, and so you need a game plan for your finances to help find success. Visit RG Bank in Alamosa, Pagosa Springs, or Monte Vista and let them help you with a plan for your deposits or loans for you personally, for your business, or for your farm and ranch. RG Bank, your future begins today. Member FDIC, equal housing opportunity. RG Bank says, go Grizzlies. Coach, you got a message from the Grizzly Club. Let's talk about that. We have Billy back here, who's always part of the Grizzly Club.
Yeah, he's not talking right now, so I might I'll say it quick. All right. No, there's no better way to support Adams State football as well as all of our athletic teams than joining our Adams State Grizzly Club. Do it today. Go ahead and call our athletic director at Adams State, Caitlin Smith, at 719-587-7401, or you can send her an email at ksmith@adams.edu. We would sure like your support for all athletic programs and would like you to be a part of the Grizzly Club. Every dollar goes to our athletes.
Down here at San Luis Valley Brewing Company, where we record each Thursday. Seth, your senior year, tell us about your career at Adams State. You came from Buena Vista. Give us those because you've been through ups and downs.
Yeah,
I've been starting a new beginning. How do you persevere? How do you talk to us about that?
So I've been through a lot here. Honestly, I've had a lot of coaching changes since my first year. I've had pretty much a new staff every year I've been here, but I'd say one of my biggest adversities I'd have to go through, I don't think of it really as an adversity because it shaped me so much, but last year I tore my ACL, my meniscus, so coming off of that this season, I'm super excited to get out there. It's been almost 11 months
right.
since I tore it, so. But
what's that rehab been like for you? And was that the first major injury you've had in your career?
Yeah, that's the only injury I've really ever had. So rehab for that, it's every day. All Christmas break, I was down here working with our training staff, but I was home for Christmas Eve, and that was really about it. And then I was back here and trying to get right for the team. So, and then along with that is just the support I've had from coaching staff and my family and teammates and community. It makes it all worth it because I get to play for something bigger than myself even more than I have been. So,
Coach, talk to us about Seth in terms of what you've seen from him since your arrival here in Alamosa and Adams State. How do you build that relationship with seniors, with leaders from the team? Talk to us about that.
Honestly, I don't know if we have enough time for that. All right. So, but no, I'll give you a little blurps here and there. Like Seth said, coming into this job is kind of one of the first things that was brought to my attention. He sat there in the interview committee, asked questions, was right there in the front row, got to know who he was from that perspective. And then accepting the position, a lot of students weren't here until middle of January, and he's absolutely right. He was there in December, came walking into my office, introduced himself, and we got to chit-chatting right away. And from there, the relationship has built. We had a neat little, I don't know if it's neat, we had a workout, okay, in the springtime where we were trying to reestablish the culture, reestablish the standards. And I'm telling you what, you've got a kid coming off an ACL injury, typically on the sideline, just watching, doing his stretches. And now this kid was jumping in. Like he's in the middle of it. And I'm pretty sure, by the way, Sammy did a phenomenal job helping him get to where he is the right best. Now. She's our athletic trainer. Yeah. But in that situation, I think we probably should have pulled him out, but he was setting the tone. He was setting the message. He was really establishing the new culture of how we were going to do things. And without those kind of moments happening in the spring, we're not, where we are right now.
Seth, talk to us about the defense that Adams State's going to run this year under Coach Gallas, and how that may be different style-wise, formation-wise than what you've been doing. I don't know that. I don't know if there is a difference here. Talk to us about the new coach, defensive tendencies that you're seeing compared to what you've been doing the last few years.
So I'm not going to give away any of our secrets, first of all. But
we'll see that on Saturday.
Exactly. You can see that on Saturday. But I say just like our philosophies, our defensive philosophies are, like, that's the core of our team, honestly, because as a defensive guy, I feel like we get everything going. So when we show up, it's 100% every day, 1-0, next play, every single play. If you mess up, you got to put it behind you, move on to the next play and get that one right. Hammer and nail. Like, we don't want to be the nail, we want to be the hammers. So
do you run 3 linebackers, 4 linebackers, or does that make a difference to you in your scheme, Coach?
Yeah, it does. There's no secrets in that. 2 deeps are out and everything. We're a 3-4.
Gotcha.
And I've been a 3-4 guy for probably now going on 14 years. When I played here, it was an odd structured defense with Marty Heaton, and that was kind of our difference maker, if you will. And I'm still a believer in that kind of stuff. And I think, you can create a lot of confusion offensively by having that style of a picture. So, yeah, it'll definitely be a 3-4. You'll see 4 linebackers out there at times. You might see some switching, but, at the end of the day, that's where we're going to hang our hat on.
What's the learning curve been for you, Seth, in this defense that you're going to run this year versus the last 3 years that you've been on the field? Has there been a learning curve for you?
I'd say there has been, new terminology and just stuff along those lines, formation recognition, and just really like the language of the defense was a little bit different. But I mean, as an older guy, that's kind of stuff that you can just pick up on a lot quicker. But I will say every year I've been here, I've had a different defense. So I was kind of used to hearing the new and processing it fast and getting out there and getting ready to roll. I do really like this defense a lot. Lets you play freely and do your 1 and 11, do your job, and everyone else does their job. And it's very, very good once you get the hang of it.
Well, and this is a tough matchup, Coach, when you go down to Silver City, Western New Mexico, because that's a team. They bring back a couple of veteran receivers. They bring back a quarterback from a year ago. So you, as the defense on the defensive side, are going to have a pretty good initial challenge.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're going to challenge us vertically, horizontally. They create some mismatching situations, and that's, again, hats off to Coach Hickman and having those guys stick around, and that's what you can see and sense in that program that he's starting to build down there. But love the challenge. I think that's what's great about football. In talking about Seth's situation of having different languages, that's the one unique thing about football is we don't have this same language in our sport. We have it's like different countries going on. Like, you transition as a basketball player, there's a sense of everybody calls that a pick and roll.
Right.
In football, we think we're smart, we think we're cool, and so we call pick and roll completely different at every institution. and so there is some of those challenges, but once those guys start to pick up and realizing at the end of the game is still the same that you played at recess. He's got the ball. We got to tackle him.
Exactly.
Don't make it too complicated, okay?
What does that look like for you, Coach, on the defensive front for that front three? Talk to us a little bit about what you've been able to find in your first year. I know we talked last week about all the new players you had to come in and bring in. Where are you, or how are you feeling about your defense right now, just being able to get out there and do what you want them to do?
I feel pretty good. Honestly, Coach Gossage has done a great job with those guys up front as our defensive line coach. We brought in about 5 new individuals that are right away placing themselves into that 2 deep and helping us understand what it is that we're trying to do. And they're coming from some great programs in the Cali ranks, as well as some other institutions. really giving us a good core nucleus at D-line. You're going to see Dom Childress come out and really make a name for himself. You're going to have Big E, is what we call him, at our nose guard. And then, on the backside, you still have some familiar names in Aiden Shields, Ashton Frank, Seth Bourget, LaWalker Bourget, and then we got Nick Seal, and then the list can go on and on and on. But we've got some really good names and guys that we feel comfortable in rotating during the game.
Seth, when you think about your teammates, the ones you were with last year, even the year before, and now you all are back, you came off a winless season. I know that's really hard. Where do you think you and your teammates, returning players are? He talked about some of them, but how are you moving forward as a team, as a group of players with a new coach coming off last year, your senior year? There's got to be a lot of motivation for you.
Yeah, I feel like the guys that stayed, we stayed for a reason. We believe in the program. We bleed green, believe in the school. And the guys that did stay, and I'm blessed to have all those guys with me. Like I'd say Zach Ray, Ren Mafua, Javi, Benji. Like we got a good core of guys that will do anything for this program any day of the week that they're asked. And I feel like we just, kind of put that in the rearview mirror. Like I said, it's a new chapter and the page is turned and we're getting ready to roll with the guys we have right now.
Well, and it's a credit to you that you stuck it out, that you stayed on course with your degree plan at Adams State. You're graduating with a degree in kinesiology. You have a couple of minors in teaching and coaching and in sports management. But you stuck it out. Why was that? Why did you? Because I imagine you could have transferred. You could have went to another program if that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, realistically, that thought never crossed my mind. I committed to this school for 4 years, and I understand some people do leave, but that's just not something I was willing to do for this program. And I'd say the relationships that I've made, not even just on the football team, but just in the community and through the other athletic programs, other coaches on campus, it's something special here. Like it is a family. Like I was able to give a talk at a banquet we had, and I think just like going off of that, it was the guys that have stuck it out with me. I'd really like to shout out Derv Taylor. Me and Derv Taylor have been through a lot of stuff here together. He's one of the 5 guys from my first team here that are still on the team. So just like relationships like that, like that's my brother for life. I know I can call him at any time, and I wouldn't want to leave anybody that I'm that close with, and it's the same with the guys that have stayed.
And you came from, Buena Vista High School, the Demons, not a big school, a 1A school, I think, maybe a 2A school here in Colorado, but you were able to transfer your game to a Division II college football program. Was that easy to do for you coming out of high school? And what is your note or message to other players out there that playing at small high schools in Colorado or any school in here in Colorado? You seem to be able to make that transition to the college football field.
Yeah, I would say the transition definitely wasn't easy. We were 1A, so right above 8-man. So we're a small school, and it took a lot of work. It was every day getting up at 5:30 to go lift, get the extra workout in, have a weights class, practice. You can't take a practice off, and you have to love the game. Like it's something that you lay your life out for, and something that you'd commit your whole life to. And I really feel like I'm a testament to someone that's put everything they've had into football. And I can say, like, if you want to make that next step and you want to play college football, you got to put your priorities straight. It's football 24/7, or whatever sport you're doing, you're competing 24/7. And you just have to grind.
And you didn't find the game too fast for you. You were able to adapt from the high school field to a Division II. And we talked about this, Coach and I, because you've been playing in the RMAC.
Yeah.
And you've been seeing some really good football teams,
great football teams. Yeah. So I'd never redshirted. I kind of came in right away and just kept my head down, kept my nose in the playbook, and was just working. And I was blessed with opportunities on special teams. And as a freshman, those turned into game reps, and those game reps went good, and that turned into a few starts in my freshman year, and just stuff like that. You just, like, I Like, I didn't have a TV in my room my whole first semester of college. If I was going to watch TV, I was just going to watch film and learn. It's just, you have to sacrifice to be great, and I feel like that's a big thing you have to do if you want to be competitive and see the field at any point of your career.
And Coach, what does it take for someone that is coming out of a small school like Seth did? And I know you came out of the Denver metro area, bigger schools, but you do have these small schools around Colorado, around the Valley, and you are able to find talent. You're going to find one in Western Colorado when you run up against the Clonch kid from Centauri in the running back, right? So there are talented kids in these small schools.
We don't use their name, by the way. It's a school up north.
School up north.
No. You know, you going into that style of recruiting, that was our big message. Seth has done a phenomenal job, but you look at Adams State history, it's filled and sprinkled with 8-man, 1A, 6-man All-Americans. Like, kids that have come here, found success. You know, in some sense, they come here, and this is a big city. You know, where they're coming from, this is a big, you got a Walmart? What?
Yep, right.
It's a big city, and so sometimes those kids come here, and they do amazing. And the reality is, too, is in small school, and probably in Seth's situation, he can't just sit there and just play football. Mm-mm. No, hey, the basketball coach, the wrestling coach, the baseball coach, the track, they're all pulling at him because you're only as good at small school if your athletes are playing. And so in that case, when you come from a program like Buena Vista, you're seeing a lot of that nature of three-sport athletes. And so I love recruiting those guys because when they come to college and they realize all I got to do is football, their production just starts to rise at a fast level because now they're not having to do all these other things. They can just focus on this technique. Oh, I'm ready to go.
Well, I always say, too, you know, you can't really get a sense of how fast the game is until you're actually on the sidelines.
Right.
You can see it from the stands, you can see it from TV, but when you're on the sidelines, that's when you can tell that this is a fast game and these are big people that are hitting each other.
Right.
There's levels to it. I would say that there's levels to it, and you'll get your welcome to college moment at some point. And
you remember yours?
Oh, I do.
Tell them about that.
Okay, so my freshman year, this was my first time going in with the ones during fall camp. So we had a running back. His name was Shama Luwani. He's one of the greatest personalities I've ever met. He was awesome. But he was a big senior running back. He's probably 6'2", 230, just an absolute tank. He's doing MMA fighting now. He's awesome. And we're in just helmets, so we're doing like tag tempo, tag off, or throw your hands through. And they have a little toss play to the left, and I read the toss, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm running, and about to tag off, and he just palmed my helmet like a basketball, and dribbled me off the ground right in front of the offensive sideline, and everyone's, oh, and I was like, well, at least this happened at practice and not a game. At least my moment was at practice. But no, Shama was great. Love that guy. He was a great dude.
Welcome to college football.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Needed it.
Let's talk a little bit about the RMAC coach.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to bring up Western Colorado, but we're going to bring them up. They're one of the favorites with CSU Pueblo this year. Tough division, tough conference. We've talked
great
about
division.
That. Yeah.
Because of the toughness.
But what's interesting to me is Western Colorado is, again, like Adams State, a tiny school in a tiny town, but they've proven over the last years as they've gotten better that they've risen now to the top of the league in terms of one of the preseason favorites. So that shows you that you can do that from a small program. You're seeing that in Western Colorado.
You absolutely are. And you're seeing a program that bought into a culture. They bought into a mindset, and it doesn't just stop in the hallways of the athletic department. It's the community and everything in what they're doing up there. And Jazz Baines has done a phenomenal job. Colleague of mine, good friend of mine, being able to talk back and forth. He's done what he's needed to do, and that's why they're seeing success. And that's why they're starting to change things in their demeanor and what they've done in the previous years. And so, but the conference as a whole is strong and healthy. You got a couple new head coaches coming in this year, but two individuals that knew the conference pretty well, myself and then Coach Stitt up at Colorado School of Mines. He's a longtime RMAC guy and knew what he was getting himself into. But when we come out with the preseason polls in the top 25, you're getting 4 teams getting votes, 2 teams finding themselves in the top 10. It's a good conference. You want to be in this. This is what you want to play in. You don't want to play in the bottom end of the Division II rankings. You want to play in the top. You want to go against the best, and that's what the RMAC has right now.
And then you have an old rival of Adams State that's reemerged, CSU Pueblo. I mean, that's a school coach that I don't get along with too well. I'm just going to say that up front.
Yeah. Now, and that rivalry is very unique in itself because I played part in reigniting that department or reigniting that program, because when we were playing against the team up north, we were going to Pueblo and Dutch Clark to play those games to see, hey, is this county, is this town really want college football back?
Yeah.
And sure enough, when we were playing the team up north down there in Dutch Clark, there's about 8,000, 9,000 fans, and it was a good atmosphere. And then the next 2 years later, who are we playing against? We're playing against them.
And I don't know that a lot of people understand that history to what you're saying, that Pueblo, at the time, I don't even remember what they were called. I think they were
USC.
University of Southern Colorado.
Yeah, they were USC.
They quit. They killed their football program.
Correct.
They killed the football program in Pueblo.
Right.
For a period of years.
Yep.
And then Dan DeRose and others were able to bring that program back, convince people that,
hey, we need this.
Yeah, and now here they are, and they've been a contender for the RMAC the last several years, and there they are again at the top of the RMAC preseason polls, looking at you saying, come and get us.
Right, no, absolutely. And again, that community lives, breathes football. You talk about some of the programs in Pueblo West, Pueblo East, Pueblo South, Pueblo County, all those, they've got state titles, they've got amazing athletes coming out of those organizations, and so Pueblo needed football back. They needed it, and they've done just a great job of restructuring it and getting things going there in the later, I think it's like 2008 was their first season, actual season, and it's just taken off from there. They won the national title in 2014.
Yeah, no, they've resurrected themselves, and they're there again looking at everyone. Seth, when you think of the RMAC, do you go through this schedule as a player and look at those teams, or you just take them as they come week to week? How do you see that?
I take it week to week. You can't get ahead of yourself. Like right now, I'm really not even thinking about the RMAC teams, honestly. It's Western New Mexico on Saturday, and once we finish up on Saturday, then on Sunday during our meetings, we'll figure out what the next week brings. But looking at the RMAC, though, as a whole, it's a great conference, and I'm blessed to play in it. There's great competition, great players, great men, great leaders all throughout it. So,
was it surprising to you, that level of play that you were seeing in the Rocky Mountain League coming from Colorado as a Colorado high school kid? Did any of that surprise you?
I would say no, just because I was always into football and everything. So I was able to see the RMAC play out a few years. I had a high school coach play at Adams, actually, so Matt Flavin, yep, and then Oliver Reed, yep.
Yeah.
So I was able to keep up with, especially Big O. He was going to school at Adams when I was in like elementary school, and so I was keeping up with the RMAC then, and so I've been around it mentally. So it's a great conference, and I'm just super excited and blessed to have the opportunity to play in it for the last 4 years.
Well, you're going to get your start of your senior year. Coach, you're going to get the start of your college football career this Saturday when you head to Silver City, Western New Mexico. Want to look ahead after that, because then you come home, you have your season opener here in Alamosa on Saturday, September 6th. University of Texas Permian Basin, and then you get then you have a break.
Yeah, little bye.
Then you get a bye week, and then you have Western Colorado.
Team up north.
CSU Pueblo, back to back.
Yeah. It's laid out. A lot of people always say, well, man, you got a tough early schedule. Well, there's a couple games that you have control over. Other than that, like how conference is set up, it's a 2-year cycle. They just flip everything and reorganize it and change some stuff. So it's not something that you necessarily need to get caught up in too much. You just got to, like Seth said, take it week by week. But I know this community is pumped. to have that game coming up and to be back home. And, there's just been a lot of things that have been done by the community for the excitement of this game coming back home. And come out to Rex and you'll see it. You'll see just not only a difference in the way we do our thing, but also just, the support, the behind the scenes of what makes this university so great.
Is Billy on the bus to Silver City? Is Billy on the bus to Silver City, or is Billy waiting for September 6th for his home debut?
That's a great question. I haven't gotten Billy onto the field just yet to see his athleticism, but just glancing at him, I'm thinking D-line. I think he's going to have a little bit of growl to him and being able to set the tone on the offensive line. And maybe that's the case. Maybe we can get him a football jersey to wear to the game, and I'd love to throw him in there for a couple plays, see what he's made of.
That would be cool. Hey, Coach, we want to wish you all the luck in your season opener here in Western New Mexico. I have a good feeling. This is a winnable game. Wish you the best of luck, Seth, your senior year.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
This has been the Adams State Football Show, sponsored by RG Bank, San Luis Valley Brewing Company. We'll be back next Thursday. Get ahead for the Grizzlies season opener on September 6th at Rex Field. See you around.